Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're giving you our list of the 10 worst things about gaming in the 2020s. Look, there has been some great innovations to come from today's video games, but since the start of the 9th generation, it seems things have gone downhill. What do you think about the current state of the games industry? Has it stagnated your interest, or have you found your own corner to enjoy games? Let us know in a civil manner down in the comments. Before we begin, we publish new videos all week long, so be sure to subscribe to MojoPlays and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Crashing with no Bandicoots. Ever since we nabbed our PlayStation 5, we have noticed one issue that has become somewhat frequent: the crashing. The PlayStation 4 was pretty bad when it came to random crashes, but the PlayStation 5 has been noticeably worse, at least with our PlayStation 5. That isn't to say every PS5 is doing this, probably, but for us, it's not uncommon for the Seto Kaiba box to crash upon booting up, or crash when launching a game, or crash when loading menus in the PlayStation Store, or again, just crashing when we're just turning on the console. This happens about once a week or so, and we don't recall this being as much of a problem when playing, say, the original PlayStation, or even the PlayStation 2. The Xbox Series S has also crashed on us a handful of times, though it hasn't been as frequent. It's almost like packing in more power for these things is causing more problems.
But now let's have a surprise.
Controls with no control. Now, controllers aren't as much of a problem these days as they used to be. We've come a long way since the awkward pitchfork we used for the N64 and the Duke from the original Xbox. But the DualSense, for how neat it is with its haptic feedback, has reportedly caused some players some serious hand pain. And as somebody who has some pretty big hands, I can see it. As far as controls with software is concerned, there have been many games forcing players to use freaking cursors to navigate menus. If we wanted to awkwardly sway a cursor around menus and inventory screens, we would have gotten the game on PC. Why are the shoulder buttons not being properly utilized? On top of that, many AAA games impose a hold button prompt for just about every basic action, like picking up an item or opening a door. Anything for realism, right? Limited real estate.
Is this new? I am giant!
It's kind of funny how back in 2018, we received a lot of flack for criticizing Star Wars Battlefront 2's bloated file size, which had reached a whopping 91 gigabytes, taking up roughly 20% of the base PS4's standard storage space. Fast forward to today, where AAA games have been regularly making headlines for the obscene amount of storage space they're demanding across all platforms. We're talking an average of over 100 gigabytes, sometimes more than 120 gigabytes. Some point to a problem with developers not knowing how to compress files, while others conspire that this is done to bully other games off of players' consoles. Who knows? Let's just keep asking for hyper-realistic graphics, rendering at 4K resolution, and maybe eventually we'll figure out the reason why our storage problems exist in the first place. Randomly generated quality.
I cannot tell you who you must become, or where the line is drawn.
What's so odd about AAA gaming taking up so much space is that much of the quality has been all over the place, especially in the PC space. Fork over your hard-earned $70 for broken gameplay, performance issues, and a plethora of bugs and glitches. Since the price hikes began, AAA publishers have yet to justify their decision with the awful work on display. Just look at Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Wolong Fallen Dynasty, Assassin's Assassin's Creed Valhalla, The Last of Us Part 1, and of course, the Pokemon games from the last few years. We are told that games are getting too expensive to make, but does that justify the lack of quality? Is that supposed to excuse horrible monetization or constant frame dips? Seeing how some AAA publishers go through massive layoffs right before reporting record profits, we fail to believe the price hike has been deserved.
But I can tell you this. If there is any hope of surviving, we must stand against the darkness.
COD is life. It is truly a shame how much Call of Duty continues to swallow up any and all media attention in both the gaming community and games media. We can understand why Call of Duty is as big as it is, but we can't help wonder how much of its popularity is because people are so attached to what it was back in 2009. Regardless, there's no denying that Call of Duty has gradually caused people to start resenting it. You can see it in the sales numbers. It is a series known for having massive cheating problems too. It gets a new title every single year, and it has become the primary focus of just about every studio under Activision Blizzard. And it's interesting to see bigger gaming outlets make the same criticisms while at the same time churn out guides, tips and tricks, reviews with unrelenting praise, and then they forget whatever controversy faster than Activision forgot about all of their other IP.
You could be sitting taking lunch. We'll hit you like a punch.
The plague of live services. Ever since Fortnite exploded in 2017, just about every game company, big and small, has put all of their focus into trying to build their own money printer. We get it. The dream of chasing a possibly infinite source of wealth is tantalizing. The problem is that there are so many games that try to wedge in live service elements at any given opportunity, and so many companies fail to understand that the market is severely crowded. As if the wave of games getting shut down wasn't a sign of the trend dying back in January 2023, PlayStation is taking a gamble on at least a dozen live service games still in development by their first-party studios, and Bungie gets to say what projects live to see the light of day because Destiny 2. Whatever happened to making, video games? Well, if you want to buy video games, there are many AA and indie publishers that will cater to you.
Some big scores on the board, but held by the opposition. It'll be tough to bounce back from that.
Okay, party's over.
Bronze Breaker's done.
Constant advertisements.
You've been a naughty boy.
It's bad enough that AAA publishers force players to stay online all the time just to play a game solo. Looking at you, Diablo 4. But what's more annoying is how frequently we're advertised to. Remember when we got Rockstar Energy Drink DLC in our Mad Max game back in 2015? How about when we booted up Mortal Kombat 11 just so we could see a Hogwarts Legacy banner on our screen? And don't you just love being assaulted with news about Fortnite's new season every time you boot up your PS5, or see a portion of your Xbox's dashboard be delegated to a sponsor? Meanwhile, when you hop onto your Switch, any and all advertisements are shoved into a single news section. At least one platform is keeping our consoles serene. An exodus of legends.
やっぱり2D マリオのように遊べる 3D マリオということが一番の売りなんですよ。だから 3D マリオの醍醐味は十分に詰まってるんですけども、割と軽く遊ぶこともできますからって。
Now, this was bound to happen sooner or later, but so many developers who have made our favorite games have made their exits or are about ready to. Shigeru Miyamoto has been talking about retirement these last few years as he progresses into his 70s. Masahiro Sakurai may or may not be making one more Smash Bros. Game and has also been talking about retirement. Todd Howard, now in his early to mid-50s, is eyeing The Elder Scrolls VI as his last game before retirement. Shinji Mikami announced his retirement and departure from Tango Gameworks back in February 2023. Amy Hennig is currently working on a game with Lucasfilm Games and Skydance New Media, but is also approaching 60. So who knows how long we might have her creative genius before she announces her exit from the industry. And that's all without getting into the devs who have exited because of scandals.
の一つですから ば次の政策はあり得ると思いますが、その手法についてはいろいろ手を打つ必要がありますね。
Crowded cemeteries. As Call of Duty and cinematic open-world games continue gobbling up everybody's attention, we have found ourselves in a sea of dead IP that may never return. Even when fans are being vocal about wanting certain franchises, most publishers have shown that they'd rather keep belting out the same exact products. We have been seeing this attitude with PlayStation after the American offices fought with the Japanese offices over the brand's power, eventually leading to Japan Studios' closure. Like we mentioned earlier, Activision is making all of its studios work primarily on Call of Duty. Xbox, on the other hand, is just far too busy feeding the Game Pass machine. Where's Crash Bandicoot? Where's our new Twisted Metal? Where's Spyro, Banjo, Legacy of Kain, Vampire the Masquerade, Star Fox, Parappa, Resistance, or Killzone? Can we have anything that's not Call of Duty or cinematic open world? Tis the season of acquisitions.
The unforgettable adventures. The epic quests. The decades of discoveries.
Over the last few years, acquisitions have become more rampant, and in some cases, outright annoying. Like more annoying than my mundane voice. Some folks have spent the last 18 months playing corporate cheerleader for Microsoft as the conglomerate fought the FTC and CMA over its acquisition of Activision Blizzard. In response, Sony has been scooping up studios left and right for the PlayStation family like Bungie, as well as studios that have yet to put out their first game. Rumors have been circulating over whether Square Enix will become a part of PlayStation or not. Embracer Group, on the other hand, has found its massive purchases from the last decade to have become a major financial thorn, leading to massive layoffs across its near 100 companies. Needless to say, there are obscene amounts of money being thrown in every single direction. But games are expensive to make! They sure are.
As we talked, it became clearer and clearer that this kind of partnership was where we wanted to go with all of the games we were doing.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out some of our other videos here on MojoPlays, and don't forget to subscribe for more great stuff every day.